The whole idea is just light. I don't know, it's not rocket science to say, okay, if you have good power and if it's light, it should go good. And then, knowing what I know from the car I built for Pismo, that car was fast as shit. My name is Jeremy Baye. I'm the owner of 1945 Speed and Custom. We're a hot rod shop in Troy, New York. We do pretty much everything from early traditional cars to, modern resto mods with all the latest and greatest stuff. In the Oilers Car Club, I was one of the guys that kind of got it resurrected. I think that was maybe 9 years ago, something like that, 8 or 9 years ago. Being one of the people that has been at the event since day one, I've seen what works and what doesn't with everything other people do. So I have my little idea of, okay, I think this is going to make the car go fast. It's fairly simple to put together. This car is lighter and has twice the horsepower. I think this car should be faster than that other car, and that other car was really fast. So we'll see. I don't know. I've never driven it. The body's a 25 Dodge that I've had floating around for forever. I bought it out of some guy's basement, and he showed me pictures of it in the 60s, and it was I had it in a parade, and it was this goofy T-bucket thing. I don't know, I never had any intention of doing anything with it, but I never wanted to sell it because I bought it for $200, so it was just one of those things. The frame is actually the frame that was under my T-Touring that I built for Pismo. The engine and the transmission are solid mounted in the frame, so they act as a cross member. The frame is bolted to the rear end. So basically there's a front cross member, and then there's a cross member that the seat bracket's on, and then the engine, transmission, and rear end. So it's kind of the least amount of shit as possible to make it work.
Where'd you put that leak down check?
It's a 59A. It's a 286-inch flathead motor that Al from Go Devil Garage built. It's got Hillborn fuel injection. The transmission's a 47 side shift trans. The rear is a 47 rear. Other than that, that's kind of it. The rest of it's just linkages and brackets and bell cranks to make it work. We put it together, the fuel pump leaked. It probably would have been all right, but it's this far from my head. So, I don't want to die. So I overnighted a new fuel pump, and which isn't cheap. I was kind of pissed about that. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to, I don't want a 20-cent O-ring be the issue why my car is not working well. So we're about ready to fire it here in a minute, and I think we're going to be fine.
He's all excited. You do the drive and Max will do the start. All right?
I'm not going just to hang out. I'm going to win. What's cool about the Race of Gentlemen is now there's dudes that are building purpose-built cars. And the Race of Gentlemen has progressed the way, early hot rodding has progressed. You know what I mean? In the very beginning, it was okay, we had this car and let's make it lighter and we'll go racing. And it was sort of like a lighthearted thing. And now there's dudes that are building full-blown race cars for our event. And it's cool. It's awesome for us to, be a part of something that, there's so many people interested in it. It's kind of neat, a little bit surreal almost. So, this car is built for this. It's not a street car. It's made to get pushed to the line, to get fired, and to win on the beach. That's the deal. So yeah, come out to the race.
I'm Sondre Kvipt and I do Kustomrama. It's an online encyclopedia. We're based in Oslo, Norway. I started a page like 10-12 years ago. We have been doing this Custom by the Sea show in Wildwood since, this is the 4th year actually. I had been mailing with Mel because he had a 36 Ford that the buddy of mine wanted to buy. I said, yeah, we're coming over for the show. And then he sent me a mail like, hey Sondre, we need someone to do something with the customs. And I was like, okay. I think this was in July and the show was supposed to be in October. And I was like, fuck, I can't do that. You know, I thought about it for like a day and I got the accept from the missus, and then I was like, okay, then we just need to start finding the cars, you know, spreading the word. So then I think we had about 1 month to find the cars for the first year show. The next year we took the show down to the beach, and then we got fewer spaces. So then we turned the show into a pre-52 show. We think it was done like late 50s or in the early 60s in San Diego, and it's been chopped 2 inches and it got the louvered hood on it. It's nose and decked and shaved. It's a kind of a mild car, you know, still it's chopped and all, but it's kind of mild. It looks like it's been sectioned, you know, with the radius, the wheel wells and all that stuff. Then we have the 41 Ford here, that was recently painted. That's been chopped, shaved for the door handles, louvered hood, got fender skirts in the back, nose and decks, and yeah, Appleton spotlights. That car was built by this guy's father back in the day, well, back in the 70s actually. And then he sold it off and they bought it back and restored it. So the way Kustomrama is built up is that like when we add a car to the page, you know, we index the car based on when it was built, in what city it was built, in what state, the builders and those kind of things. So if you go in looking on a car from California, you know, you can click on to California to see more cars built in California, and we sort them, you know, based on when they were built. We have like Winfield and Paris, Bill Hines. You know, we got most of the big names in US cover, but we also got builders from Europe, Sweden, Norway, Australia, and all that. So we got cars and builders from like all over the world. I started doing Kustomrama when I went to school actually, so I started in my dorm in Boston. And it was kind of like a school project, like I was like, okay, I need to build a web page for something, you know, and okay, so it started like a regular web magazine, but then I built it into a Wikipedia, and it was like, back then, you know, nobody knew what the Wikipedia was, and it was kind of clumsy to navigate through and such. Like now, I think we have like 50,000 pages listed actually, so there's like 50,000 pages with cars, builders, cities, countries, you name it, you know. So I started back then, you know, and I worked, I spent like thousands of hours doing it, but now I have come to this point, you know. Well, in the first days, you know, I had to reach out to people to get stuff. Now people are like reaching out like all the time, so I'm just catching all the good stuff, and there's so many good stories.
Up till 3:30 in the morning, I was messing with that car, and I could get it to run, but it was like, it would run rich, and then it would sputter out. And so this morning, I brought it to the beach. I started from scratch, and I got the thing to run, and it ran awesome. It ran as good as it ran in my shop. And then I made 2 passes and now I can't race anymore. The thing got crossed up and I kind of just was like driving it the way I drive my drift car, you know what I mean? I was just like letting go of the wheel and kind of just letting it do its thing, and that certainly wasn't fast. But that was the first time I've ever driven it. So I figured, all right, so the next pass I'm just gonna have to kind of baby it out of the hole a little bit more. And I did that and I got a pretty good run, and then I figured I'd shift into third a little soon to try to get the thing to like let the torque like pull me with the wheels hooked up, and that didn't really work. It kind of loaded the motor up and started bogging a little bit. So I made 2 passes, and I feel like if I could make some more passes, I'd continue to get faster and faster. The car has way more horsepower than I was expecting. The bummer is I can't really run anymore because the New Jersey cops are saying I can't run alcohol. I'm running alcohol because the engine runs cooler and I don't have a cooling system. All the other racers know that I'm running alcohol. It's not like I'm like trying to like hide something, but it's the cops saying you can't run anything more than 97 octane. Even the dudes that are running race gas, they're like, oh, we smell race gas, you know. So guys that are just running race gas are being shut down right now. So it is what it is. For me to change that thing to run gasoline right now would be like way too much work. But either way, I'm happy with what my car is doing, and I'm excited to tune it to run on gasoline for the next event. You know, I mean, that motor's going to my dragster. I'm still going to run alcohol in it in the dragster, but for the next, you know, Race of Gentlemen event, I'll have it on gasoline, and that's what we're going to do.
Hey, come here. Hey, nowhere around. Let's get out of
No, I want water bubbling up in front of us. That's what I was hoping. He told me that went to the hot tub. He said he'd hold it.
I'm sitting in the hot tub, relaxing, not wearing anything. Might or might not be getting a blowjob if I'm another man. Sitting with Mel, we put this whole thing on, got us all out to the Jersey coast. Give me a quick recap of how you feel 2017 went off for the Race of Gentlemen.
Amazing. Higher style. We did it again. Here we are in the hot tub, my favorite part of the weekend, when everyone's safe, alive, and we get to cheers, beers, and tip them back.
Awesome.
No casualties. That's all I care about.
Hell yeah.
Lots of smiles and no casualties.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, this is the place to be, I guess.